Macro mode.
What are they going to do with that? What's the land?
Art galleries.
Right, so this is a final report of the last days of the set of Coronation Street. The old set. They don't film here anymore, they've got rid of it. But it's been open as a tourist attraction for the last couple of years. However, it's going to get replaced with something a lot less interesting than this at the end of this month. It's December 2015. So this is just a simple look around to see what is actually in the set. So starting at this end where the tour exited, you've got the bistro. And of course there's nothing inside there. It's just like many of these places, they're just exteriors, that's all. Well, first we see Rita's newsagent. Apparently two similar shops can sustain themselves right next across the street from each other. Dev's corner shop over there, and Rita's handy little shop, the Cabin, as well. Come a little bit further, you can see the only semi-detached houses in the street, although they were at pains to announce that TV cameras always lie, make things look bigger. So apparently, and this camera probably will do the same as the actual cameras then, and make everything seem 70% smaller. So this road is actually quite small, and these houses are not very big either. The only semi-detached houses in the street, you've got Gail Platt and and David, who now bizarrely owns it. Come through here, you can see that they have got a garden, which I must admit is a premium, very close to Manchester city centre. They have got a nice garden. It's rather microscopically sized. We couldn't swing a cat in here. They never show that they could be nosied in on by the Museum of Science and Industry, let alone the Hilton, which overshadows it. That must be a flat above streetcars. And also, don't come out and tell all your secrets or your angst out here, because the chat over the garden fence to your next door neighbour doesn't really offer much privacy whatsoever. So there you go, you can't get in these houses. I think they're like shells. So you've got that, also they're pretty close to the hub of business, right next to the Underworld factory, where up until the end of this old set, that's just a shell as well. There's an interior set for it, but on the new one you can just walk right in there. And Webster's garage as well, that's the same story, but you can see there's a few garagey looking things there. But on the new set they've applied for planning permission to make it even bigger. Yeah, it's something that actually when I came there last time I never looked at. Inside of Webster's garage, there are garages this small. Admittedly, this is pretty small for a garage. You work on one car at a time. You remember that scene, if you've been watching Coronation Street, with all the cars out on the street? No wonder he had to do that, as you can see. So there you go, that's what's down here. And then you come a bit further down, you start to see more of the iconic street. These are all the terrace houses. We all know there's nothing inside them. They're used as storerooms. The interior sets are all inside. They only ever film the ground floor as well. They never show upstairs. They just show them walking upstairs to nothing. I'm not even sure what happens if you go in here. I think it's just a load of storerooms. Rover's Return is the same story in this set. In the new one, you can actually go in, just like you can in Underworld. On this one, no, it's in there. It's within that building within the bistro. That's right. That's where you go to get the Rover's Return, Underworld, and many other places. Just think, a bit of a noise problem for Ken, because Ken and Deirdre have lived right next to the Rover's Return all their lives. And geographically, the toilet should be inside their front room or their kitchen or something. Instead, it leads back over to the Ginnel. So how they can have a relaxing evening in by themselves and not hear all the goings-on of the Rover's Return is beyond me. Right, so you get to the end of these semi-detached, you get Audrey's Salon, that's opposite the pub. The phone box. There must be a flat above that, I don't know who lives in that one. Round the corner from the Rover's Return, you get this bridge, and yeah, you guessed it, that picture is nothing at all. It's just a picture of another road, one of those roads that they make up names for. And this is intrigued me more than so many things on the set. What, this TRFC? Is that Tranmere Rovers Football Club written on the Coronation Street set? That would be rather random, wouldn't it? If they were right. I don't know why that's written there. TRFC is written there, a bit of graffiti. So you know that leads to the Ginnel, but before we go down there, there's this rather mysterious area that they don't use much in the show. The medical centre is referred to. You don't really see many people going in there very often. That's apparently where Deirdre used to work before she was dead. And then this chippy, again, you see this, but you hardly ever see anyone actually going in here. But the other day, Simon was seen coming with some chips from round about here. So they have actually acknowledged its existence. So again, just like having two similar shops to a newsagent down there, they've got two chippies competing for each other's business in a very, very tiny microcosm of an area. So you've got Prima Donna owned by Dev, and that is shown a lot more than For Your Fries only. Then Barlow's Buys here, that's now owned by Tracy, of course, and she ruthlessly got it from her brother who used to run that betting shop there, so that is very ruthless, getting the business out from him. Becoming that's like a pawn shop. It was a betting shop, so similar types of morality in both businesses in its history. Really, this is the extended part of the set. This is where it comes round a little bit more. Roy's Cafe over here, right next to the chippy. It's funny that when you watch it, they don't really show where things are in relation to each other. They just show something, and you don't kind of get the idea that well when you just watch it, where things are, until you actually visit the set, and then you get more of an idea. Well, I think that butcher's there has become the community centre that's owned by that Nazir's, because, you know, Freddie Elliott is now part of the rich history of the show, not on it anymore. There's no butcher's shop anymore. So to come down to the furthest extent of the set, as it was in this old set here that's about to be demolished, sadly, we've got another house that we never see anyone live in, ever. And next to that there, right opposite what is now Jason's construction, still says Owen Armstrong's construction here. He's left the show now. And on this one, there's something that is very in keeping with modern Manchester. Apartment living, of course. So as a sign of the times, we've now got a new block of flats built on the edge of the set. Victoria Court, home to Nick and Carla, I think, and Leanne, I think, are the main characters that live in there. So there you go. So that's nearly all the tour of it now. Streetcars is ironically next to the bus stop you always see. So if they get fed up waiting for the bus, just pop there and just get a lazy taxi. There you go. And there really is a firm called Streetcars around the corner from this set, and I've just seen a car before. This is never shown because it backs onto the Museum of Science and Industry again. And so really the only other part left in the set now would be the back of the pub. And there's the iconic Coronation Street sign. This street here that it leads onto is called Rosamond Street, and then the only other street name is Victoria Court in this actual set. I think it's Actually, I think that one there with Roy's Rolls on is Victoria Street. So there's 3 streets in a way on this, and it has been expanded a bit more, but not too much more. On the new one, about 2 miles away over in Salford. So you come through here. I always think of the affairs that have been committed and the secrets that have been shared here. And of course, you're about 2 or 3 feet away from Deirdre or Tracy's listening ears. So those secrets have lasted about 5 minutes, of course. When you come down here to try and get away from it all and confide and conspire and all that, well, you might secrets as dark as the alley now is tend to get rumpled down here. So you can see the backs of the houses, and the lights are all on in them as we're coming in. Well, it's getting towards 5 o'clock now. You never see upstairs, they're just storerooms, and then there's something else that is bizarre as well. You can see this pretty clearly on the outside of the Rover's Return is that massive Hilton Hotel. They very cleverly managed to stop it being shown whatsoever on the show. It never appeared in any shot. I don't know what technology or method they must have used, because it clearly towers over the whole set. So as you come around here to the beginning again, this is the entire geography that they were working with, except for the interior sets. Now you can see a few details up close. The opening towers of times of Dev's shop. It was very convenient indeed. You work all the way through Sunday, the same opening times each day, to get a pint of milk up until 10 o'clock on a Sunday is good service indeed from a tiny corner shop. So who's working all them shifts? And then on each house there's a bit of a history, a biography of who's lived there. Kevin owns this house now, doesn't live with Sally anymore, he rents it and helps people. So the highest number's 13 it goes to along this street. Come down to what must be 11, get a little thing there, find that it belongs to the Grimshaws, and they have quite a hotel living in there, with Sean living in there, and everybody seemed to stay in there, and they didn't bother to work out how many bedrooms these tiny up-down terraces have before they stuff all these characters in. It must be claustrophobic, and you must not get much privacy. I won't be like Elsie or whoever it was that put the window through. 11 there, nicely Christmas decorated. Go to 9, do we know who lives there? The Dobbs. Tyrone, yeah, it used to be. This is quite iconic for Coronation Street because it used to be Jack and Vera's, I think probably Blue Door as well, and it's got passed down to Tyrone. It's been a house of domestic abuse when that Kirsty storyline was going on, getting hoovers thrown at you if you were Tyrone, and Jack and Vera getting nagged every day within these walls. So, Social Street, yeah, why don't they make Facebook profiles of the characters? I think they should. It would be very interesting. Number 7, Dev Allahan and the kids and Mary babysitting happens in here, next to Tyrone. 5, revealing that there's a train ticket here. That's handy for... Where are we going? Altrincham Metrolink, that's what I should have got. Can't show on camera. Chesney and Sinead and Beth and Kirk all live in this one, number 5. And 3, that belongs to Norris. He actually owns the house, believe it or not, now, because he got it off Emily and then he got stuck with house repairs, didn't he? So he owns that. Quiet, considerate Emily is appropriately next door to number 1, which we all know belongs to the Barlows, who are right next door to the pub. So you must hear everything that goes on through the living room wall. And the infamous bedroom of Tracy's affairs. So, current residents, yeah, Eccles the Border Terrier, Ken and Tracy and their new boyfriend, and Amy are in there at the moment. And here, bizarrely, that new character Aidan is mysteriously staying here. There is a bit of a divide, actually, if you can see. There's Ken's front living room. There is actually this little gate here. Yeah, so this is a little noise barrier between the rambunctiousness, if that's a word, of the Rover's Return. Current landlords Steve MacDonald and Michelle Connor, and Liz, of course. There's been a lot of people through these doors, obviously. So that's it. That's the entire geography that you can come and see, but only until the end of December on the Coronation Street Tour. And it's quite interesting to see it at night as well, even though I knew it would be dark. So there you go. This has been 107 News, Weatherfield, Manchester.